it's your girl Mariah from Mariah and Zio, and I might be looking a little crazy today, and I know that the background's kind of different, but it's always going to be different. So yeah, today I'm going to do a story time of I guess my first love. I don't know how to describe him because we didn't do anything together. I just really liked him and stuff, but yeah, if you want to keep listening about what I have to say about the story, keep on watching. Okay, so it all started off, I was starting high school and I was a freshman, and I had a block period, which means I had the same class 2 periods, and it was reading, and it was 7th and 8th period, and there was this guy in there. I didn't really I knew I had friends in that class, but I didn't really know him because I didn't have any interest in him. And well, we got sat next to each other because my last name starts with an S and his started with a W. And I was quiet, so I was quiet freshman year, and I never really wanted to focus on school, and I didn't really want to focus on being liking a guy and being in a relationship, so I kind of brushed it off. And then he started talking to me and stuff while we were in this class together, and he had asked me why I wear skirts, which this is because I'm religious. My parents are apostolic and stuff, so I would wear skirts, and he asked me why, and then I told him, and he was like, well, I really want to be into church too, I want to see what it's like. So he texted me one day after school. It was on a Wednesday night, and he asked if he could come, and I asked my parents, and they said yeah, sure. So we went and picked him up and stuff, and he started coming regularly, and we started hanging out on the regular also. And then I kind of admitted to him, or no, that wasn't whenever I admitted to him. I just thought to myself, I really am starting to like this guy, but I'm not going to tell him, because every time I told a guy that I had liked him, or I caught feelings for them, they would be like, oh, well, I don't feel the same way. So I would get heartbroken in a sense, but this time I didn't do it yet. And so we had been friends, best friends, for all of freshman year, and then sophomore year came around, and he he had girlfriends, but I don't know, they never liked me because we were friends, so I didn't really care, because that's just my mentality and that's my personality. I don't really care at all. But we started hanging out more and more and more, and I wasn't okay. Homecoming was coming up, and it was in October, and I didn't really want to go, but he had convinced me to go, and I was like, okay, well, if I go, we're gonna have to match and stuff, and we're gonna have to go together. And he was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I was like, well, I kind of I had this feeling that if I went with him, that he would have ditched me for one of his ex-girlfriends. And well, I had all of my friends went and stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go because my friends are going. And I went, and we met up there, and we saw each other when we first got there, and then I went to my friends and he went to his friends. And then throughout the whole night, he basically ignored me, and he didn't pay any mind to me. So I was just like, okay, well, I don't know how you're getting home, because he was supposed to ride with me home. And I was like, okay, whatever, I don't really understand why you're doing this. And there was this cute guy that I had liked. Well, I didn't like him, but I had saw him, and I thought that he was cute, and he was in that same class freshman year. And he was like, hey, do you want to dance with me? And I told him no. I was like, no, I don't really want to dance with you, you know. I'm actually here with someone else. But he was like, oh, well, where is he? And I was like, oh, he's dancing with his ex-girlfriend. So the guy was like, okay, well, come on, just dance with me one time. So we go, and I can remember the song. It was Stand By Me by Prince Royce. And we were walking into the building because there was like an outside where like the food and drinks were. And I was out there with my friends, and he was like, come on. He's like, just dance with me one time. So we went, and the song was over by the time we got in there. So he was like, well, at least can you take a picture with me in the photo booth? So I was like, yeah, sure, you know, memorable night. Let's just, you know, get on with it. So we were waiting in line, and all of a sudden it was our turn to go into the photo booth, and all of my friends got into the photo booth with us, and it was crazy. Like, it was wild. So I was like, no, I don't really feel like my friends ruined it for me. So I was like, okay, whatever, you know, stuff happens. The guy was like, okay, well, I hope you have a nice night, you know, whatever. And then we went our separate ways, and then he was like, the other guy that I had liked, he was still dancing with his ex-girlfriend when a slow song came on. And I was so getting ready to cry, but I was like, you know what? You're looking hella cute. And, you know, there's just something about him that, you know, isn't good for you, obviously. So I went and I hung out with my friends, and I danced with my friends for the rest of the night. And then it was time to leave. It was like 11, I think, and we were all going outside for like our parents to come get us, and he texts me, and he's like, hey, can you take me home? And like, my instinct is like, I don't know, I have to ask my parents, but I really didn't want him to like be taken home with us, but my mom had already told him that she could take him home. So he gets in the car, like, okay, my mom's, like, we had an Xterra, okay, but, like, the back seat where my stepbrother was, and then I think somebody was sitting in the back. So, okay, my step-cousin Leslie was in the car with us, and she was like, oh, I want to drop her off too, or whatever. So she was in the middle, in between me and this guy, and my parents asked me how homecoming went, and I kind of brushed it off. Like, I was like, it was okay, you know, it was fine. I kind of hung out with my friends most of the night, and the guy just looked at me, like, he was like, you didn't even, like, acknowledge that I was there, but he didn't acknowledge me that I was there either, and, like, we were supposed to be going together, and, so we got home, we dropped him off, and I was starving because I didn't eat the whole night because they had cold pizza there, and I was like, I'm not eating cold pizza. So I just had like 2 cookies and lemonade. And we got to his house, and we dropped him off, and my parents were like, oh, are you okay? You know, you look kind of down. And I was like, he ditched me most of the night for his ex-girlfriend. And my parents were so upset because we paid for half of his stuff. Like, we paid for his shirt, his pants, and his tie. Like, for most of it. And it just, like, broke my heart because we couldn't believe that he did that. But okay, anyways, on to the, like, next week. Oh, no, on to the rest of that night. He texted me, and he was like, oh, I had a great time at homecoming. And I was like, all that I can think about was, like, you didn't even dance with me. Like, we just said that we went together. We didn't even, like, stay together or dance together or anything. So that's, like, all that I can think about, and that's why I was kind of upset about the whole thing. And it was, like, the next week, because homecoming was on a Saturday. Yeah, homecoming was on a Saturday. So it was on Monday. He was like, well, I had a good time or whatever, and him and his ex-girlfriend had gotten back together. So I was like, okay, like, you know, I can't stand to, like, see you walking down the halls with this girl, and yet you're saying that he didn't say that he liked me, but I was like, you're saying that, you know, you want to hang out with me or whatever, but yet you're ditching me for this girl. And I was kind of upset, like, with him about the whole thing, but I was just like, you gotta brush it off. There's other guys. And he was like, oh, well, he's like, I didn't mean to ditch you or whatever, but he would walk me to all my classes, and he would he would walk me down my classes, and he would always sit with me at lunch. Like, I ditched all of my friends for this guy. And he was, like, I don't know, I was just, like, so stuck on him that I didn't realize that I left all of my friends behind. And that's what happens sometimes whenever girls get too hooked on a guy. And, like, he basically broke my heart, and he didn't even have to do anything. But okay, this is another, like, this is, like, in between the time before, like, we stopped talking, and yeah. We were going to my friend Daniel's house for a youth thing, and he wanted to go, so we picked him up and we were taking him with us, and we were getting ready to go into my mom's car. Like, nobody else was in there. Like, nobody else was getting ready to go into the car except for me and him. And we were getting in, and like, we like leaned in, like, whenever you get into a car, you like lean in a little bit. And well, I leaned in and he leaned in, and he was like, our faces were really close, and I just, like, looked at him, and I was like, okay, like, is this gonna be, like, where we kiss or what? And he had a girlfriend, so I was like, okay, great. Like, if this happens, then I'm gonna be the one that he cheated on her with. So he was like, you know what? He's like, I'll save your first kiss for someone special or someone else. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I just left it like that. And then the rest of the night, like, we held hands once, but it was like, we were praying, and it wasn't, like, I don't know, it wasn't any big deal, because normally you pray and you hold hands with someone. But Daniel and his girlfriend were there, and like, I think he was trying to make Daniel jealous, so he like was holding my hand and like trying to like get all close to me. But I was just like, why are you trying to make him jealous? Me and him don't even like each other. But yeah, that's basically what he did. And then he like, not just recently, but like my senior year in high school, he texted me, and like, we started talking again, and like, he basically told me, like, okay, I went to go visit him, and I can't even explain how I felt, because I felt kind of stupid. But then again, I felt like a relief that I didn't really want to deal with him anymore. So I was like, okay, well, I went and saw him. And on my way home, like, while I was driving home, I was crying, because I couldn't believe that I had invested so much time into this guy that didn't really, like, care about me or how I felt or just, like, anything in general. All that he cared about was himself. So I texted him, because he was, like, basically, he told me that he was like, well, he's like, I want a relationship, but he's like, there's stuff that comes with a relationship. Like, he was like, I'm gonna eventually want you to move in with me. And like, I'm only 17. Well, I was only 17. I was like, I'm not moving in with anyone at the moment. Like, I'm still in school. I'm not gonna be like living with some guy, and then end up getting pregnant, because that's just not me. And my mom especially would have been so upset with me. So he was like, these were his rules. He was like, well, you're gonna eventually have to move in with me, and we're gonna get our own place. And then he said that he was like, well, you're gonna have to he's like, I'm gonna be at work all day, and I'm gonna be expecting certain things whenever I get home, like the house clean, dinner ready, and then he's like, and then I'm gonna want something after that. Like, he was basically saying that he just wanted me as like a housewife and a sex slave. So I was like, skirt, no, that is not happening in my book. Okay, he like was like, well, you can just think about it. So I took like a week to think about it, and I texted him, and I was like, I can't do that for you. Like, there's obviously some other girl in this world that would do that for you, but that girl is not me. I said, I'm the type of girl to not just give stuff up like that. Like, I just like, okay, I turned 18 in June, and I just had my first kiss like last week. So it's just like, it's very complicated, because I want to be pure and stuff. So I want like things to be special. Like, I imagine things in my head the way that I guess movies play out, but I know that it's not gonna happen. That's basically the guy. Oh, but I eventually told the guy that I had feelings for him. I just didn't and he said that he liked me back, but I just couldn't stand the fact of that he basically just saw me as a toy. And most guys, well, not most guys, but some guys do see girls like that, and it makes me so frustrated because like okay, well, some girls do, but not like girls that I know. We don't see guys as just, oh yeah, they have a nice body, I want to get with them and then sleep with them. Like, that's not something that I want. And I don't want other guys to see me as that, because that's not the way that I present myself. Like, I don't want guys to be like, oh, she's really easy to get, and like she's really easy to sleep with, and like she'll give things up easily. So but I don't know, I just like, it's complicated for me because I don't really want that. Like, I don't want somebody to just see me as that. So, but yeah. And this is my story time about my first like actual heartbreak, I guess. I wouldn't say first love, I'm just gonna say first actual heartbreak, but I cried over this guy for like a week. I didn't eat for a week. I was so depressed. It was insane. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't get through my head about how some guy can think about me just like that. So, yeah. But this is a kind of different video. So, if you want to hear more story times with Mariah, I guess you can give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Oh my gosh. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you want to be notified every time we post another video, click that little bell next to the subscribe button. And also comment down below what you would like to see next in my next video. So I will catch you in my next video. Okay, love you. Bye.